Hello, welcome back to All For United WFC. I see the rumours in the comments. No, it was nothing to do with my hair as to why we're delayed. I was on lift duty tonight, so I thought I'd delay it by 10 minutes. That's enough time. A slow driver all the way home, 25 and a 60, criminal. So so we're even later than I thought we were going to be. So it's nothing to do with these two. It was just me driving behind some ridiculously slow people.
The minute you knew you had to deal with time, Connor, you should have said, how much do I think it's going to be? And then add on what I like to call the 25% Connor tax. And that way you'd have been on time. So we'll use that next time.
As Andrew and Rob says, I tried to Verstappen my way home, but couldn't do that behind behind some of the slow drivers. So contrary to what people are saying here, I think Erling started it off. Is the need to fix? No, unfortunately not. Imara as well. Unfortunately not. Well, no, fortunately not on that one. I've still got my stuff. It'll be slicked back on Sunday. You'll see it properly. What else? Someone else made a comment on it as well, I think. Yeah. Feel free. Blame me. And believe it or not, I live nowhere near Manchester. I'm about 2.5 hours down the M6 and M5. So, in fact, I think with the three of us on here, we are all three of us, I think, probably as far away from Manchester as you can get on that one. So there we are.
Obviously, it's in Manchester, so yeah.
Oh, there we are. See, we got some connection there, so it's all good. Some people obviously talking about it in the chat as well, obviously talking about Millie Turner. We're going to get onto her in just a second before we obviously talk about the Bristol game. Just very quickly, obviously, because we didn't do a show on it. Obviously, we did play Liverpool midweek. I'm going to quickly put a player of the match poll in the chat like we did for the last Conti Cup game to see who wins this one. I think it's between two, so we'll see whose people go for on that one. But Barry, we're top of the Conti Cup group. It's looking all right. There was a lot of changes from Sunday. I don't know whether you caught the game or not. Were you happy with that? Obviously, only 1-0. It was 1-0 at the end of last season in the WSL as well. But there was a lot of changes in this one. Obviously, from our WSL team, are you happy with that? And just your thoughts on it, really.
Well, I suppose the first thing to mention is that when it comes to Liverpool, it's always good to get a win. So you just got to put that one straight out there. Obviously, Wednesday night is one of our training nights. So I hadn't seen too much of it to begin with. And obviously, I was in the group chat and all of the stuff that was being said in there, I'm like, oh my gosh, we lost it. What's gone on? So as I was checking the score, I was surprised to see we'd won 1-0 at that point. I'm like, oh my goodness, we actually won a game, which is great news. I don't think we need to be too reactive to it, insofar as we don't have to get too happy and too excited, because at the end of the day, it's just a 1-0 win. But it's a win. Equally, we don't have to be too negative about it. If you compare this to last season, and this was my big gripe over the last few weeks and months as we've been talking, when people are talking about rotation only works if you have the trust in the people that are going to come in and do the job. If they don't come in and do the job, then it becomes a bit of a nightmare. And obviously, we've seen it through the years with Manchester United through the men's team that it can happen. You know, you can have a Carling Cup match, for example, against little old Norwich or someone like that, and they boot you out of the cup. We're now in a situation where, as you just said, we're top of the league. We've performed. We've done what we needed to do. We got the win. Is it brilliant? Is it perfect? Probably not. But we've also got to recognise that over the course of the next few years, the WSL and indeed, therefore, things like the Conti Cup and even the FA Cup are going to become tighter. They're going to become harder. They're not going to be as many gimmies as there was, because what we wanted with women's football and with the growth of the game is exactly what's occurring. We're finding it even in the lower leagues that it's a much tighter position to be in. You can't just go wandering into every game thinking you're going to batter teams 5-6-0. And that's not the case in pretty much all teams, to be fair. Even the likes of Chelsea don't really go in and just batter everyone. So am I happy? Yes. I'm delighted that Phallon came in, did well, kept a clean sheet. I know we'll get to it, but I probably wouldn't change that personally, because I feel like she's shown us enough, and I still don't believe that we're going to have Mary next year, but we'll get on to that one. But yeah, for me, 100%, absolutely delighted. We've beat the Scousers. We're top of the Conti Cup, and compared to last year, that's absolutely brilliant. So I can't argue with that. You know, when you've been stood there watching us draw to Aston Villa and go out on penalties, honestly, I think anything that results in a win, even if it is just a narrow 1-0, you'll take it.
I was going to say, and I think we've been saying on here, obviously, I know people have a different opinion of the Conti Cup. And Shahan, actually, I'll come to you on this one as well, obviously, because Bristol obviously are in the Conti Cup as well. I think you may have lost this week at 3-0 to Spurs, I think. Is it on Wednesday night as well?
Yeah, we were away at Spurs and lost 3-0, and we're pretty much out of contention now to qualify for the quarterfinals. We have one game left, home to Reading next month. Our previous 2 games, we drew with Southampton but lost some penalties, and then we lost away to Arsenal 3-1. But yeah, the Conti Cup, it's I think from a Bristol City perspective, I think our main priority is definitely the league this season. I mean, previous seasons, we comfortably won our group, but then lose to the other Manchester team in the quarterfinals. But yeah, Conti Cup, hopefully it's over and done with. We'll hopefully be Reading next month. But yeah, I saw your game. Well, I didn't see your game, but I had the result on Wednesday night, and a good win against Liverpool for you guys. And I saw Marc Skinner was trending on Thursday because of the comments he made about Phallon using the word freak, and then seen on Twitter a lot of NWSL fans, and just seeing like the context of probably not being aware of her performances in that league as well.
I think I stand by this. Marc Skinner just shouldn't be interviewed post-game. They should give him like 2 hours because, yeah, I like the guy, but his comments it doesn't help himself sometimes with some of the things he says. Because she was pulling off those saves in the NWSL as well. It's why we signed her. She's not all of a sudden become 10 times better because she's playing for United. She was doing this in the NWSL as well. So, yeah, exactly, TJ. But he's fine. We won the game. That's the main thing. And to be honest, I know there's a lot of people talking about the performance as well. Obviously, we're going to get into Nikita Parris as well because she obviously scored it again. Our most informed attacker right now. But for me, it was just about getting the win. We needed that confidence after such a poor game against Man City. We just needed to win, and obviously then moving obviously into this game, just keep that momentum going. Because I think if we didn't win again, we might have started to obviously ask a bit more questions on that one. So it's a win, I think, at the end of the day. And whatever you think about the Conti Cup, it's important for this group just to get some wins under their belts. We've had a couple of draws. Obviously, they lost to City now. Just to get that win back was the important thing there. Obviously, there's a lot of questions about Phallon. Obviously, we're going to get to her when we talk about this Bristol game, and obviously Mario's as well when we get to that. Very quickly first, though, Dave's asking a question. Is that a Russo shirt behind you, or is that... I don't think it is. I think you told us last time you were on here what shirt that is. But... Yeah,
I'm happy to show to you viewers once again. So it's a shirt by former Bristol City player Liv Chance, and who was with the club a few years ago. She was only with us for 1 season, and after the season ended early because of COVID, I somehow got a message from her sister, who I'd never met, but said that Liv thanked me as an example of all the support shown her and the team for that season, and offered me her actual match-worn shirt. So you probably can't see in the photo, but there is, you can't probably see in the screen, but there is a photo of me and Liv from a different game, and she has signed the shirt. I did get her framed. And yeah, the number is 25, not 23. So yeah, so it definitely wouldn't be Russo or Shaw, because I don't support either team, and the only shirts I would collect are either Bristol City shirts or England shirts, to be honest.
I was going to say, it did look for a moment, because I was looking at it going, is that a Russo or Arsenal shirt? Because obviously the top was cut off, but yeah, none of that one on that front. And I was hoping nobody picked me up on this. Amara, yes, you are right. City are top of the group. I just double checked. They did get obviously it went to penalties, didn't it, against Leicester, but Leicester did us a solid in that one. We've obviously got Leicester coming up in the Conti Cup in kind of mid-December. So this group between us, Leicester and City, it's going to be tough to see who tops. And obviously City at the end of January, in the middle of that run where we've got Chelsea away, City away and Arsenal away, back to back to back, which is going to be a fun January, February for us.
The amount of trust I had in you there, the amount of absolute trust that I just went along with you, that there we are sitting pretty at the top and you mugged me right off. Unbelievable. I shall never believe another thing that comes out of your mouth.
But we are one of the only sides to not concede in the, I think it's only us, Villa and Spurs, I want to say, that are the only sides that haven't conceded in the Conti Cup. So
I'm trying to play back now. So
we're keeping that going. Yeah, that stat is definitely correct because I'm scrolling down the league tables as I said that. So I know that one's definitely right. Right, we'll move on to Millie Turner quickly then, because it's something obviously that came out today that she's replacing Millie Bright in the England squad. Something that obviously we've been talking about on here for a while, that why aren't more United players, particularly after last season when we had such a strong defensive unit, that we didn't see Blundell, we didn't see Millie Turner, obviously Maya Letizia is kind of in and out of that side and doesn't really play a lot, obviously, in that Lionesses side. But Mary, your initial thoughts on that one? I'm sure we're pretty happy. Well, we are obviously amazing for her. Me as a maybe a not so much invested England fan are a bit like, I hope she doesn't get injured because we've got no defensive cover whatsoever at the moment. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Millie Turner making the England squad?
Well, obviously, I am incredibly pleased for her. I think Millie Turner has been someone who has been full-blooded in everything she does. And, you know, for me personally, I think that she deserves it. I think there's lots of people that might say otherwise. I think, you know, there'll be people that want to other people forward because that's just Twitter for you. That's life. But I think it's good that she gets the chance to see what she wants to do. The most important question, I haven't seen the England team yet that works. I don't know when was it announced?
What, the England squad or the Millie Turner one?
Yeah, the squad.
Tuesday, I think it was.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
It was earlier this week,
Tuesday, clearly. So can we just has Maya Letizia been chosen?
Yeah, Maya, Tooney, and Earps are all in.
Okay, cool. So that was the next part that would come. So I wouldn't have expected Millie to have been chosen above Maya. But I think for me personally, yeah, I think that's absolutely brilliant. We do have an influx of English players at United, so there was always going to be a few of them that could be chosen from. I think, like I say, that there are other defenders out there, but with the likes of Leah Williamson still not really as fit and ready to go as she could be. When Millie Bright goes out, the one thing that you know you're going to get from Millie Bright is that blood, that thunder, that ability to go into a tackle. And Millie Turner's absolutely like that too. She holds no fear whatsoever. So, yeah, for me personally, I think it's an absolutely brilliant idea. I totally agree with what Erling said there. It'd be lovely if she gets a chance to play and not just be part of the squad. But yeah, we shall see.
Everyone's calling me out on my mistakes today. So yes, and Zellum as well is in there. I'm at a shock. Bearing in mind, I literally got in like 90 seconds before we went
give the guy a chance. He's had 30 seconds preparation time, and most of that was spent lagging and wondering if his internet was okay. So we'll let him off. But we wasn't talking about Zellum. We were talking about the defence, to be fair, on this one, and that was where I was more worried. I will just come back. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm just going to go on to this one. I was just going to say. Just come back onto that one. You might well be right. Millie might have been better so far this season, but I'd also argue that the May has been moved about a bit. The weekend was ridiculous, switching the two of them and making them play the opposite side to which they would normally play. That was a little bit strange. So yeah, I think personally, May is definitely the one with the higher potential, and I just think she is. She's rough around the edges, but she's 21. She's going to be, she's never going to be the finished product. So yeah, I think, well, she will be the finished product. Obviously, eventually at some point she'll reach her peak and that will be the finished product, but she's not at it yet, is what I was getting at.
No, for sure. And yes, Kevin, yes, that is the reason. Obviously, she didn't get called in the initial squad, but she's next in line. I think she's deserved it. I think she should have been in there regardless. Obviously, Mia being such a big Millie Turner fan, I don't think that's going to happen. But as you said, we'll let you have your moment, and you can think that one up. I think there's a very strong chance of her getting an appearance, though. I think I will say that one.
There's one thing I can say, Connor, regarding again Millie Turner in England is. Obviously, Leah Williamson, who's the usual captain, she's out. Millie Bright, who's the next captain, she's out. So I have a feeling, I think Mary Earps may be named captain for the.
I think it's going to be Earps. Yeah. I was going to ask you that whether who you think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Earps because I think she's Earps, Zellum potentially. Obviously, United captain, but I can't see Zellum starting the game, so potentially not. But yeah, I think if you have to name a player, I think Earps is probably next in line. Just because she's going to start, isn't she? So it would make sense. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen, by the way, but
well, I don't think it's what I want to happen either. I'm not sure what things we're seeing from Mary Earps over the last few months that's giving anyone the vibe that she's a good leader. At the moment, the things I'm seeing from area, so not leadership things, they are getting outside your box things. So I don't really care. It's England at the end of the day. I love it. I'm English. I'm patriotic. But by the same token, I'm not going to cry if we lose. So, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. It's England v Scotland as well, which is a game I always look forward to. But I can't see Scotland doing too much with injuries and all kinds of things at the moment. But Shahan, anything to add, obviously, on Millie Turner's, I guess, inclusion on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing your supporters may be aware that Millie Turner used to play for Bristol City. She was even captain for us for a season several years ago. I got to see her play for a few games back when I was more of a casual supporter as opposed to a season ticket holder like I am now. Yeah, I think it's a great call up. I don't think I've seen her in any other under 23 or under 19 squads. I mean, I forget how old she is now, but I don't know whether she's too old for the youth squad now. But yeah, it's great. Unfortunate for Millie Bride, but yeah, it's great to see one Millie replaced by another. I don't know if that's the criteria that the FA have, but yeah, I hope it'll be a good experience for her, and hopefully, she will get some game time in either one or both of the games. Yeah, obviously Serena's trying out some new things, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in both of those fixtures. I mean, I've got more interest in the England-Scotland game, probably because a few of our Bristol City players have been named in the Scotland squad, so that'll be interesting to see. But of course, I am an England fan as well, so I'll be like I just hope both teams have fun sign guy, I suppose. I don't know you guys know that meme, but
yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. I don't want to sidetrack too much, but that game, like it could potentially decide whether GB goes to the Olympics or not, and that's why I think we said this in the previous show. It doesn't make sense to have them both in the same group, knowing that England probably need to win because England are the team that brings the whole of GB into the Olympics. It's like, yeah, I don't understand that.
And the games at Hampden Park as well.
Exactly. It's yeah. I'm looking forward to that one, to be fair. If I lived up closer up north, I'd probably be definitely going to that one, but that's quite a trek. It's a Tuesday night as well, isn't it? So for me, I think it's about 7 hours drive. So, yeah, I don't think I'm making that and back on a Tuesday night. So maybe not. She has as well. Obviously, Clinton going out and learn a player that Shahan will know very well from last year. We actually did a show on her earlier on.
Yeah, we did, and we talked about what team, whether she'd come back to Bristol City or play United, and she's done neither. So we got our petitions wrong for that episode.
Indeed, it's and unfortunately as well. Obviously, Jess Simpson went down to you guys, went on loan.
I mean, it wasn't unfortunate that she went on loan to us. It's unfortunate she picked up the injury. Yeah, I know what you mean, Connor, but yeah, she picked up ACL injury while playing for us against Southampton in the Conti Cup, and I think she's gone back to United to have a surgery there. Yeah, hopefully she'll be able to come back stronger and better, and I don't know what's going to happen with her next season. Maybe she'll be loaned out again, or probably be given a chance at United. But yeah, unfortunate for Jess, but at least she's had a relatively young in her career, so she can, hopefully it won't happen again, and her body will be able to cope for next time, if I can say that. Yeah,
exactly. So fingers crossed, obviously for her, and obviously a couple of our players with injuries at the moment. Obviously Guerrero is still out as well, and it looks like Rampjon obviously as well is out. We saw her wearing a boot a few weeks ago. So another youngster of ours that's not getting near the squad with another injury at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously for them. Yes, I want that to happen. I just think it would be hilarious if Scotland end up beating England that last match day, and then it means that the whole of Team GB go to the Olympics. It would be good actually for the players to have a bit of a rest as well, because that'll be 3 back-to-back tournaments, kind of 3 consecutive years. So we'll probably do without it. Right, should we talk about this game at the weekend then? Because last game before the international break, another one. Yes, I know, more international games coming around the corner. Shahan, I'll start with yourself then. Just obviously Bristol season so far. What have you made of it? Obviously some good results in there, some mixed results. What have you made of your season so far?
Yeah, I clearly Barry's so impressed he's hidden it himself. I don't. It's fine.
I'm still munching my dinner, mate, because Connor made earlier, just in case you popped on. So I thought nobody wants to see me shoveling rice into my mouth, so I'll just be polite. But no,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
definitely
fine.
not going off because of you. I promise.
I appreciate that.
There's the
Barry, that's fine.
race.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, enjoy. I'll leave you to it. So what was the question again? Sorry, Connor.
Bristol season so far. What have you kind of made of that?
Oh yeah, Bristol City season. Yeah. So I think as fans, our fans like us expected, we knew coming to the WSL, it wasn't going to be win every week or like be so straightforward like most of the championship was for the last 2 seasons. I think more of us being in the bottom half of the league is realistic. But I think compared to the last time we were in the WSL, we are scoring goals. We've been scoring a lot more goals than when we did the last time we were in the WSL, like losing 4-0, 3-0 every week or every other week. Yeah, we've had some really good performances, and I think the best performance I've definitely seen this season was our home game against Arsenal before the last international break. Even though we lost 2-1, yeah, that was a really great performance against a Arsenal team who were probably not at their best on that day. Yeah, I think Lauren Smith has been has kept a lot of the core squad from that season, but also brought in some new players. I think one player I am surprised with is our current top goal scorer, Amelie Testrup, who is the player you had on the thumbnail for this video. When I heard about her, I saw that she was previously a PSV Eindhoven, Liverpool, and West Ham. Didn't really get many goals at Liverpool and probably didn't get any at West Ham. But yeah, it's great to see, she's getting the goals here at Bristol City and scoring a couple of penalties. And I don't know if people saw the footage on the FA Player or the Women's Football Show. I understand people didn't because it was raining so much on the camera. You couldn't really see anything. I mean, I was there in person, so I was able to see it fine. But yeah, Testrup doing like a loop over Courtney Brosnan. Such a great goal and send us a few away fans and brave the trip. It was fantastic. But yeah, I think Bristol City overall, to finally answer your question finish answering your question fully, Connor, fantastic. Yeah, great to be back in WSL. And also we're now at Ashton Gate. I think we're one of the only 2 teams, the other being Leicester City, who play all the WSL home games at their main stadium. And it's great to see like the crowd numbers of like 4,000 for most of our home games. I know our last home game against Arsenal, sorry, not last home game, the game before that against Arsenal, we broke the City women attendance record of 12,008. And I think I saw like Tim Stillman or some other Arsenal fans saying, Arsenal seem to set the record or break records for every ground that they travel to, like they did at Southampton the other night in the Conti Cup, and I think Brighton last week. But Bristol City have already announced that this Sunday's game is already sold more than 12,000. So the record set by Arsenal fans and other fans as well has already been broken this Sunday. So I don't know if you as United fans will take that as a win.
Not as much as Arsenal fans are claiming this week. I've seen so many of them this week on my timeline claiming that as a big victory over Chelsea. It's like I'd rather be in Chelsea's position and winning than just taking a load of fans to a game. It's great to see, obviously, with what Arsenal are doing with the women's game. There's plenty of things that I look at Arsenal and quite envious about their media team and everything they do around those kind of things. I think it's brilliant, but yeah, I'm not having all that. And yes, TJ, I see your comment. I did get involved in that earlier, got a load of stick, and backed away very quickly because I'm not getting involved in Twitter arguments with people like that.
I could have noticed, Connor, behind you have, is that the home shirt? Is that the away shirt or is that the third shirt?
It's the away, the one that United marketed over the summer so much, it was driving me mad.
So, do you know if United will be wearing that shirt on Sunday?
I think they're wearing the third one, the white kit, on Sunday.
Okay.
I think. It's only because United tweeted next game in that white kit. And usually when they do that, it means that that's what they're playing in. So
sure.
I imagine it's that.
This is the one thing I want to ask yourself and Barry and also to your viewers as well, because I am aware you are one of the teams who usually have fixtures moved around because they're selected for TV and so on. So for us, the only 2 games we've had selected for TV coverage have been home games. So we really haven't been affected so much. But I'm just quite curious, for a Sunday 12:30 kickoff, what time would supporters based in Manchester or near Manchester have to leave to arrive in time for a kickoff at 12:30?
It's an early one. I know that. I'm trying to work out what time. I think the coach is leaving. The coach tries to get there 2 hours before kickoff. So if you base that as 11:30 from my house, it's an hour and a half. So from Manchester, it's going to be 3.5. It's going to be
So
7.
would you
8.
travel to
They leave
Manchester?
about
Connor,
5
would
or
you
6
travel-
o'clock.
Sorry.
I think they leave about 5 or 6 o'clock. I think.
Wow. Okay, because I'm trying to think, Connor, because you don't live in Manchester, so would you drive up to the coach or would you drive?
No, I'm driving straight down. Bristol away is actually one of the closest grounds to me. Aside from Villa, this is the second closest game for me this season. So I take it while I can.
I mean, that's another thing I was going to say, Connor. Like Bristol City, like we don't have any other teams in our region in the WSL. Same thing for when we won the championship last season. No other. We don't have like a regional derby. I mean, Bristol Rovers have a women's team, but they only reformed a few years ago, and they're like in the lower league system. And okay, 6 a.m. Thank you, Cal. And yeah,
5 or
and
6. I'm quite proud of myself there.
and the only other big West Country team we used to have was Yeovil Town, but they've since obviously now become Bridgewater United, and I think Yeovil reformed their women's team much lower down. But yeah, I am looking forward to. I'd love to see a derby because I think the closest team to us in the WSL, I think maybe Villa. I don't know because
It must be, yeah.
Based on where they are, like in Warsaw, and I think in the Championship, our closest away game was probably Watford, I suppose, or at least 2 seasons ago, or Southampton. But yeah, one thing I will say. So one more thing I was going to say about the Sunday was, I don't know if you guys were aware, but the game was selected for TV coverage. But I've just found out this week that the game's not even on any of the TV channels. It's on BBC iPlayer, the red button, which I find very surprising because I would have assumed if it was selected for TV, it would actually be on either BBC One or BBC Two.
Is it not? Is it not?
No, it's on iPlayer on the red button. I've looked at the schedules. BBC One is showing like Songs of Praise and other stuff, and BBC Two is like this UK snooker championships or something like that.
You're having a laugh. Oh my god, it is. Oh, no. Oh, come on.
That was definitely worth changing the time for them, wasn't it?
I was going to say they could have left it at 2 o'clock. It could have had a bit more of a lion. Would have been all right. I can't believe that. Songs of Praise. They've been watching last week's game at Old Trafford with the choir. And they thought, oh, we'll have some of that. Let's get that on TV again. That's probably what it is.
I mean, it doesn't matter for us because we're all going to be there anyway. So
you say that. I've just checked the schedule as well. I can't see it on BBC One. It may well be, and if they're moving things around, great. But on the current TV schedule I'm looking at, it's not on there. So unless they've just not updated the schedules, I don't know. But
we might need someone to watch Songs of Praise, just to say a few prayers for us whilst we're playing.
I know that's crazy. That you raised so many points. Now I want to come back to the Ashton Gate thing in just a second. Because everyone's confused now. I'm gonna have to flip my TV on in a second and see. But I've just checked the TV guide on here, and I can't see it.
Yeah, so I mean, I hope I haven't broke the internet or broke the comment section with my shocking announcement.
I've got a skybox next to me. Someone say something while I go. I don't even think I've got signal up.
Yeah, I mean,
I can confirm, according to Live Football on TV, which is my Bible, livefootballontv.com, when it comes to watching it, the Bristol City Women against Manchester United women game is on the BBC Red Button, BBC iPlayer, and BBC Sport website.
There we go. Never doubted you, Shahan. But that's crazy. I can't believe that. And obviously for the people stateside, you can watch it on Paramount Plus. So John and TJ, Amara as well. For you guys, yes, it's.
I'm actually going to blame John Commode for this because every time it's on in Britain and it's not in America, I think he sends a strongly worded email to all of the television companies, basically calling them out and telling them how terrible it is that he can't watch women's football over in America. And so what they've done is they've gone, well, I'll tell you what, we'll stick it on the proper TV over there, and then you can just have the dodgy FA player one with Mr. One Camera. And it's just misogyny again, isn't it? Because when we could have had the hers on BBC, instead we got the hymns.
That is terrible. I was going to say that's a good one. I'm intrigued to see if anyone in the comments got that joke from you there. There was a joke in there.
You got it, Connor. I'm sure they did.
One thing I've just remembered. Sorry, I was going to mention Connor and Barry. So Connor, when we chatted earlier in the week, I sent you a graphic of the game that was due to happen in April 2020 between Bristol City and Manchester United, but obviously the season got postponed and then ended early because of COVID. I don't know if you used to have that graphic on you, Connor, to share.
I can get it. I think.
Yeah, but because of that, since then, obviously the season after it was behind closed doors, and then Bristol City got relegated. But I think from a lot of support, I think since our teams have been in the same league, this will be Man United's first visit to Bristol. Obviously, I was going to say the West Country, but you guys were Bridgewater in the FA Cup last year, wasn't it, or the year before?
Was it last season? Bridgewater? No. Well, no, it would have been a couple of seasons ago. 21-22 it was. So last year, but 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's fine. I know. Yeah. I see what you mean. But yeah, of course, this would be Manchester United's and the fans' first visit to Bristol City.
Indeed. I will try and get that graphic at the end of the show. I've tried downloading it. It's not letting me upload JPEGs to this, which I don't understand why, because that's exactly what the thumbnail is. So I've got no idea what's going on there. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? That's genuinely shocking. I didn't know that. So, yeah, it's a bit annoying, actually.
Do you guys have any questions about Ashton Gate or what to do in the Bristol area, before or after the game?
I will get back to that one because I do have a specific question on Ashton Gate. Well, obviously, Barry, I'll come back just from a United point of view because there's so many points to raise there. There was a few comments about this earlier on as well. I'll just get to quickly some of these comments, but I'll be thinking. Obviously, you were talking about that away kit. Third one is nice. See, I'm not a fan of I don't really like the away one either, but the third one looks too much like Liverpool to me. So I'm not a fan of that white one either. I've got to be honest. Shoot me.
No question. Do you want me to put my opinion across about on the kits? The red one is brilliant because it's red and it's Man United all over. That green one is an abomination and should be used as a tea towel. And I totally agree with you. The white one looks like a Liverpool side. So I'm sure Nikita Parris loves it, but the rest of us think it is an absolute pile of steaming hot poo.
There we are.
That's why I got this one and not the others.
I was going to say that's why that one's kind of front facing, and obviously trying to cover up half of the green one beyond for that very reason. Yeah, United obviously sold out allocations, so that's going to be quite cool. What else was there? I don't think there was anything else too much on that. No, come on. They're not all bad. The red one's really nice. I love wearing the red one, so I'll continue wearing that out game.
The one about that other one you've got, that green and white one, what cracked me up was there were some of the men's players wearing that with like a sports jacket or something like that, as if it's the sort of thing that you'd wear, down the clubs or whatever. And it's like, what on earth? Like the only people that should be wearing that is if they're going to some sort of convention for the blind where they're not going to offend anybody. Ridiculous.
It would. I bought it and I've never wore that grey one. It's more just to have on the wall, like just so I've got it like behind me as like a semi backdrop. Oh God, Mia's got some old photos of me in my height of fashion.
If that's your fashion, Mia, you can keep it. It's fine.
Oh dear. What was I going to ask you, Barry? Right, you mentioned it earlier, obviously, and looking at the player of the match poll, Phallon is going to win this one. So, yeah, she's way out in front on this poll. So it leads to the question. Obviously, we've got to be a bit careful what we say because of speaking.
Yourself, I'm never careful with what I say. I just try not to swear.
But obviously, Phallon, 2 clean sheets in the Conti Cup. Some would argue, obviously, it's against lesser opposition and it's rotated sides and all those kind of things, which I guess is true in that respect. But Mary Earps hasn't been performing at the level that we know she can do. As far as we're aware, no contract is still been signed, so there's still a possibility she leaves, obviously, for a free next summer or in January, which is obviously fast approaching. What would you be doing this weekend then? Because this is the first time, obviously, we said it pre-season that we want Phallon to start because Mary's not fully committed that we know of yet. But this is the first time I've seen a full swing in the fan base going, this is the game now. Like, where you bring Phallon in, because she had a great game midweek. She's performed obviously well in the 2 that she has, and Mary's not exactly been excellent. What would you said it earlier? You said that you would bring her in, but just your reasons as to why that is.
Okay, I'll just point out, Mia. Yes, you do look cool in pretty much anything you wear. The only person I know that can pull off the Fred from Scooby Doo look and still look cool. So well played, you.
Can I just say very quickly before you do? Don't you dare me. I swear. If those photos go anywhere.
Oh, let's just have a little look. Has something popped up on WhatsApp
no,
just
no,
yet?
no, 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 no. I swear.
No, not yet. You're safe so far. But you never know. We're keeping an eye on that. If I go dark again, who knows what I might be doing. It'll still be rice, will be the answer to that question. Still be rice. Okay. Mary Earps is, let's be just honest, real, no emotion, just straight in it. The simple fact about Mary Earps is that she is the best goalkeeper in the world. That has been proven across many different competitions, and you know, she just sort of reminds me of like the nursery rhyme girl. You know, when she's good, but when she's bad, she's absolutely awful. My biggest problem with Mary Earps isn't her ability. We know how good she can be. My problem with Mary Earps is her attitude. Her attitude since the end of last season has been an abomination for me, and that's where I'm frustrated, because I would genuinely rather have 11 players who are absolutely pants but have got a really good attitude and work hard and have good work ethic and work together as a team, than to have these people that want to come in and believe the hype and put themselves up to be something absolutely amazing. And I think that's where I'm struggling with at the moment. You know, you looked at Honor and Lessie. We bring that up many, many times. Honor left the club with absolute class and dignity. We knew what she wanted to do and it wasn't a problem. Russo didn't. You know, there was all of this background noise that was going on around it. The problems for me right now is that Mary Earps is like some sort of ticking time bomb. Just her general attitude and the things that she's doing are so questionable. You're seeing things on the internet. She's putting posts on there at times when she shouldn't really be putting posts on. We're seeing her liking other teams' stuff. And it's like, what are you doing? This is not how you play the media game when you're at the top level. You can't do it. You've only got to look in the men's game to see, you know, if Marcus Rashford goes off and likes something from Manchester City, the world goes mad, because we shouldn't be liking Manchester City stuff. You know, football is tribal and it remains tribal even in the women's game. Yes, we're a lot more accepting, you know, like we allow people like Amara to come in, being Arsenal fans. You know, we invite Bristol City fans like Shahan to come over as well, because that's what women's football is all about. It is that inclusivity and that ability to accept people for who they are. All those things are fine. That's not a problem. But you've still got a duty to the club that you play for. And I'm not seeing that from Mary at the moment. I'm seeing someone who I believed at the end of last season wanted to go. And I saw in my mind a management team that said, we can't let the best goalkeeper go. We've got to do our best to try and keep them. And on the one hand, I understand it. I understand that you want to keep the best goalkeeper in the hope that we're going to do something really good this season and that she might sign. But we've got to learn our lessons. We tried that with Honor. We tried that with Lessie. And I think Honor was always going to go because her heart was set on Barcelona. But Lessie could have potentially been persuaded. She wasn't in the end. We can't keep leaving our planning for how we're going to move into the next season and how we're going to build that foundation. We can't keep it based on things that have happened in the past and in the hope that we're going to somehow turn it around. We're not doing that. Mary Earps will not be persuaded to stay. And it's her behaviour that I'm seeing, especially online, that is causing me real trouble. I said this months ago. She needs to leave this football club. She's gonna leave this football club. I do not see a world where she stays. And if that's the case, she shouldn't be playing for Manchester United. I don't care. There's people up here going, oh, the Lionesses. I don't care. I'm not here for your international football. I like it. I love England. I want them to win everything they're doing because I'm a passionate, patriotic man. But equally, I don't lose any sleep when they lose. I'm not sat there crying into my pillow. You know, Mia's getting all excited because Millie Turner's been called up for England. I'm just happy for Millie Turner. Generally, I'm not really that fussed. What I'm fussed about is what's happening at Manchester United Football Club. And we've got, like this time last year, all right, maybe we wouldn't necessarily sit there and go, all right, we'll give the shirt to Sophie Bagley and give her the chance to become the number one, because Sophie Bagley hadn't been given that opportunity before. And And there were question marks over her. Then, of course, you go into a game against her and she pulls out an absolute blinder and shows you that she probably did have it in her locker to replace Mary if called upon. I just think that we've seen now in terms of Phallon that she's capable. We know that she can do it. She's an international name. She wasn't one of these players that, we've kept hold of that's perhaps come down from lower down. We knew who she was. We knew what she was capable of doing. And I just think for me that this is absolutely mad. It's absolutely mad. And, I'll finish off by saying, we've said this time and time again. I've always said a manager lives and dies by their decisions. The world doesn't need me to tell them that I love Marc Skinner. The world doesn't need them to tell, me to tell them that I've got all the faith in the world in him and that I will support him and push him on. But I'm telling you now, some of the decisions that he's making over these last couple of weeks, they're going to bite him in the backside if he carries on not doing the right thing. Now, I don't know if he switched off from All for United. Maybe he's been trying to get his Man United fix from somewhere else. But in the hope that you're watching Marc Skinner, let me just put this across to you. Stop mucking about with people's positions, right? You know where they play. You know their positions. Leah Galton plays up the top. She's not a left back. Stop it. All right? Hannah Blundell is better on the left than she is on the right. Stop it. Maya Letitia is a right-sided defender, not a left-sided defender. Stop it. Nikita Parris probably doesn't belong on the left. And Leah Galton probably doesn't belong on the right. Just stop it. And Mary Earps doesn't belong in our goal because she doesn't have the attitude to play for our club. Just stop it.
I've got literally nothing to add to that. I don't think I probably have, but I think you've summed it up like well. And this is nothing again. I know we know Mary's quality, and people know my thoughts on it. And people say, "Oh, I'm just saying this because of what happened over the summer." If people watched our Team of the Season show last year, people will know that I didn't think Mary was as good as people were making out. I still stand by that. I think there is an element of English tax that gets added to players. And I think it's not just her. I think there's a few players in the Lionesses squad that gets overhyped because of being in the Lionesses. But as Barry just said there, I don't see a world in which she stays. So at the time, whichever club she goes to, and I know there's a few interested, whether that's public knowledge or not, I'm not going to say anymore because I don't know if it is. The clubs that are looking at her are pre-planning for another player leaving. That's what we've done that. We've gone out and got the keeper that is going to replace her, obviously, as number one. So we need to start playing her now, as I put on my tweet yesterday, to start building the relationships with the back four and the keeper. Because if we just get to January, as I said, our first fixtures in the end of January is Chelsea away, City away, and Arsenal away. We can't just go into those 3 games and go, there you go, Phallon. Have that. There's your first 3 games in a United shirt with a back four that she's not really worked with. Now's the time to start bedding her in and start getting her used to that back four when it's Riviere on the right, Blundell on the left, Turner and Letitia in the middle. So obviously in the Conti Cup, it's a little bit changed up. Obviously with St Evans coming in and other players coming in that back four. Get her used to the WSL back four that we're seeing because she can do it. Like the ability is there. We saw it in the NWSL. We're seeing it in the 2 games that we've seen already. It's not a big drop off for me, and I just feel like. Yeah, Barry mentioned some of the stuff on socials that you can see. I'm looking at the pitch as well. I said it on the show on Monday. I don't like how she's acting on the pitch when goals are going in. It's never Mary's fault. It's always the defender's fault in front of her. Having to go, and people say it's passion and people like to see it. Fine, but stop blaming everybody else for a mistake that I feel like she made on Sunday in particular and in other games earlier on the PSG away. That goal for me, she's got to save straight away. It's Blundell's fault. No, not having that. So if she turns around and miraculously signs a contract, by all means, she can start. And if she gets back to her best, we'll love her for it. And I still support her as a United player. But there's players that I don't want starting that I still support as a United player, but it doesn't mean I want them starting games. So that's just where I stand on that one. Shahan, have you got anything to add on this, by the way, just from an outsider's point of view? Because you've just heard 2 kind of passionate United fans on this case. Have you got anything to add on goalkeepers? And would you be happier if it was Mary or Phallon in goal?
Well, I think based on what you guys have just talked about, I think maybe from a Bristol City point of view, I probably would be happier if Mary started in goal. Because I'm trying to think, has Mary kept a clean sheet this season so far?
Yes, because we kept 2 in the league, so she must have done West Ham and Everton.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. That answers like my question. Yeah, I think from a Bristol City point of view, I probably want Mary Ebbs to start, but yeah, again, Skinner will make his decisions, pick the starting 11. But yeah, Bristol City, we have a goalkeeper situation of our own, but that's more injury based as opposed to your goalkeeping situation is in regard to who's going to start. So obviously, I know there's a lot of the United fan base who are particularly fond of former players and so on. One of them being Fran Bentley. I don't know if your supporters are aware, but she picked up an injury after our opening game against Leicester. So she's been out for a while now. I don't think I think she might be back in the new year. And then our second choice goalkeeper, who's the Wales number 1, Olivia Clark, she went out on loan to Watford. And then when she went out, the club brought in on loan from Arsenal, Kayla Marquise. So she's been starting all our league games while Fran Benning was out. However, in our last home game against Aston Villa, she picked up an injury. And then, so Liv Clark is now our main goalkeeper at the moment. And we have signed our former goalkeeper from a few years ago, our second choice goalkeeper from a few years ago, Benedict Haaland. No relation to Erling, but she is Norwegian as well. And she started in the Conti Cup game against Spurs on Wednesday night. So, but I think, Clark will probably start in goal. And I'm just going to ask, obviously, I know both teams have former players from their respect from the other club. So Mary used to play for Bristol Academy many years ago. I wish I would have loved to see him play for Bristol, but again, that was so many years ago before I got into women's football. And of course, Man U have Hayley Ladd, who again was during the Bristol Academy years, and then Gemma Evans, and of course Millie Turner as well. Whereas Bristol City, again, we have Fran Benny and Carrie Jones, who I don't know if she played many games for yourself. I know she was on loan at Leicester last season, and yeah, she's a regular starter in our games now. So it'll be interesting to see what reaction she gets from your fans. But I'm pretty sure, longer term Bristol City / Academy fans will give to Mary Earps and, Gemma Evans and Hayley Ladd if they come and Millie Turner if they come into play as well.
Carrie will get a great reception. She to me that was the perfect move for her. I think going to Bristol, she did well on loan. She wasn't really going to get a look in, so I'm really happy for her, and I hope she does well down there. To be fair, not on Sunday, but I hope she does well outside of that because just a good person, and I think it's a good move for her at a good club as well. So yeah, she'll get a good reception, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Me started a chant. So on this, by the way, in fact, no, I won't do that actually. That's a question for Barry off camera rather than planning AFU shows live on air. I'll wait until we're off. It's just reminded me of something I need to ask you when we get off here. Anyway, right, I'll come back to you, Shahan, with another question, obviously on Bristol in just a second. But Barry, for yourself, obviously we saw midweek Nikita Parris scored again. You mentioned a second ago about players playing all over the place in different positions. It was annoying me on Wednesday night. We saw Galton out on the right wing. No, let's stop that experiment right from the off. She was one of the best left wingers in the country last season. Leave her over there. Parris obviously on the right hand side, not down the middle and off the left, as we've seen in recent weeks, all kinds of things. So we've kind of asked this on every week because we've rotated every single game, obviously in that front line. But I'm assuming you're going to say the same again. Parris has to start on Sunday just because of being our most informed attacker right now, right? Or are you going to throw a curveball out there and say no?
Well, see, now Shahan doesn't listen to me this time. I wonder if he's eating rice. So, I have been doing a little bit of research. Paper out. There we go. I know, right? I love a little stats. I love my stats because we've been talking about who would be the best three and all of that sort of jazz, and that's all good. But I thought I'd take a little look, obviously, at where we were going. And actually, I was a little bit surprised. Now, Nikita Parris is our top goal scorer. I believe this might just be WSL, but it could also be Cup ones. Haven't checked what the BBC covers for that. But anyway, she scored 7. Rachel Williams is on 5, with Melvin Mallard on 3. But the bits that get me about that is, I mean, there's simple statistics to get. There'll be somebody who comes on and goes, yeah, when Nikita Parris only scores against Everton, you know, all that sort of stuff. So before we get down there, what I thought would then be an interesting thing is to start looking at not just who our best goal scorers are in terms of actual goals, but there are other bits and pieces. So, for example, the best conversion rate that we've got at the moment is actually Millie Turner with 50%. But to be fair, she scored 1 goal and only had 2 shots. So you would expect that to be the case. Our best one is actually Melvine Mallard. She's got a 43% conversion rate. Rachel Williams with 42% and Nikita Parris with 41%. So the statistics would tell you that those 3 people are the best to start, especially when you then look at both Parris and Mallard having a 71% shot accuracy. So they're getting it on target 71% of the time. And Rachel Williams, 67%. Bit like Ella Toone, who's also got a 67% shot accuracy. So it was quite interesting in that respect, because when I look at those numbers, I think to myself, well, actually, those would be the 3. But then you're in that situation of where do they go? Because if you put Mallard in, then ideally you'd want her to be the sole focus. Just Parris go on the right, and then, you know, you're not going to have Rachel Williams running down the left-hand side because of Leah Galton, who's scored 2 goals this season. So it's a tricky one. It can be switched around, but the numbers tell us that you're going to want to start with Parris. I'd be starting with Parris, Mallard, and Galton, and then bring in Williams on for Mallard probably as the one at the top for her traditional 2 goals at the end of a game or something like that. So that would be my front line. But then I was also thinking about what goes on behind, because we've been giving Ella Toone a bit of jip lately about her performances, but actually she's got some good figures as well. Like I say, she has scored this season. She's got 4 assists. She's our best assist maker at the moment. And what I found again, I thought really quite interesting about all of that is that she's also got, apart from that, the 79% pass accuracy, which is again right up there. Lisa Nolson's got our best one. And she's created 10 chances, which is the second best out of all of our players. Katie Zellum, obviously, makes the most because she's a captain and she's amazing and we love her. So in answer to your question, having just gone through all of my mathematical numbers and crunching, is it's up to Marc Skinner what team he chooses, because he don't bloody listen to me anymore. But if it were me, that would be my 3. I would have Parris, Mallard, Galton, Williams coming off the bench. I would start Ella Toone because the numbers are actually telling us that, you know, our eyes might be deceiving us a bit, because she is still coming up with some of those clutch moments. And then it's got to be Zellum. And I feel like Mia will probably shoot me if I don't actually say Hayley Ladd to play. But I think I probably would start Lisa Nolson. But she has got to be stronger. She can't play like she did against City. And I already explained the back 4 and my goalkeeper. So hopefully that answers your question, Condog. Jade Riviere, right, but I haven't mentioned that yet.
I agree with everyone, apart from I would probably go for Ladd, just because I think Ladd was better on Wednesday night than we've seen from Lisa, I think. Or do you give Lisa another chance? Lisa hasn't been awful, but I don't think she's been great either. And the same with Ladd. Like, Ladd started the season, people forget that. Ladd last season was exceptional, but I think Ladd at the start of this season wasn't great. She was very good on Wednesday night. That's the one for me. I agree with your front 3. I think Galton, Mallard, Parris.
I'm not against Ladd. I'm not sat there going, don't play Ladd. My point there is just purely that at the moment, looking at the figures and the statistics, you know, Nolson is doing quite well with what she's got. But Ladd is a perfectly good choice. I mean, you've got John down there going, no Jays. Well, no, because that's the names that I've put. She can be on the bench and come on. She's not scored as many. At the end of the day, as much as I will sit there and say, yeah, we can rotate, you've got to reward the people that are doing well. And Nikita Parris is our top goal scorer. Now, let's put it in another world. If you're sitting there and you're Nikita Parris and you don't start this game against, sorry, Shahan, but Bristol City, the team that are bottom of the table, have won 1 game against West Ham, who have also got 4 points, and drew against Everton, the team that we've literally slam dunked twice. When you're in this situation, if you are the top goal scorer for your football club and you are being told, well, Jay's has scored a couple lately, she's got to go on, Nikita Parris, in my opinion, is absolutely entitled to go round there, WWE style, fold up a chair and smash Marc Skinner around the head with it, because she's the top goal scorer. Like, she scored 7. You can't argue with those numbers. So at the end of the day, you've got to give Parris her chance, because everybody was sitting there saying a year and a bit ago, oh, we need to give, Parris needs to get back to her best. Well, she can only do that if you give her the chance to bleed in play. We can't have, if she's just going to be a substitute, nightmare. We've got 12 goals from people coming from the substitutes bench. That's mental. That's like makes Ollie Solskjaer look weak.
I think, yeah, I agree with you on that front. And I think on Jace, she's been very good on the ball. And I still stand by this on the ball. She's one of our best players and could be one of the best we've ever going to have on the ball. But her end product for me is so frustrating. You know, the chance against City, could have squared it to Parris, took far too long. Obviously, I know, then the ball went out and that was a controversial one. But to me, you start Parris. And I think if it's not going, we always say this, if it's not going well, he can make changes. He made a change at halftime against City. He's making changes earlier. We saw a triple sub, around the 55, 60-minute mark. So you can change it at the time. And it's not like I don't see a big drop-off. The only other one for me, and I hear what you're saying, but I do agree with this comment a bit further off. Lost it now because there's been quite a few comments since. I agree with this comment. Statistically, Ella's doing well, but on the ice, she loses the ball. And that's where I am. When I look at her stats, I'm like, how? Because I'm watching her in game and I'm going, she loses the ball so often. Her decision-making in the final third has fallen off a cliff for some reason. I don't know why, because it was never part of her game.
Because this is what she does. Sure. She is one of those players. You mean, again, you've got to think of the levels that we're talking about. You're expecting her to perform at that level consistently. At the end of the day, if she's up, no.
If she wants to be elite, yes.
I said we're expecting her to perform at that, but not every single minute of every single game. My point is that at the moment she may not be at her best, but she's providing more than the rest of the players in our team in those positions. So, it's hard to sit there and say we should drop her and let the others go when she's doing all right. I mean, I love Mia Zara. I think she's a great player, but again, she'll have to come off the bench and earn her spot. Because at the moment, Ella's doing the business there.
Yeah.
No, Carol, I wouldn't drop Hoyland from the men's team because I don't want to compare the men's and the women's team with regards to that sort of thing. But the men's team is like, that needs an overhaul. They need to start again. Can we go back to being Newton Heath? Like, not good.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one. I think those are the 3 positions that could be changed. Goalkeeper, the player next to Zellum, and Tooney/Miyazawa. Because I don't think there's a drop-off really at the moment because we're not seeing the levels from some certain other players. So, I don't know. We shall see what he goes with. As I said, I've no idea. This time last season, we were sat here going, we know what team Marc's going to put out. I've got no idea what we're going to see on Sunday. Shahan, throw it to yourself then. Who should United be looking out for? Obviously, you mentioned your top scorer. She's on the thumbnail for a reason, obviously, because she's your top scorer. But who's been good for you this season? There's a question there as well. How's she doing as well?
Oh, even John. Yeah, I know John fairly well. So, Rachel Furness, Fernie. So she wasn't named in the squad last week against Everton, and then I noticed she was standing pitch side talking to some people, and stood near where us away supporters were. And then I asked her, was everything okay? And she said, yeah, she's picked up an injury. And as it was revealed in Lauren Smith's press conference that happened yesterday, but Lauren Smith did confirm that unfortunately, Fernie will be out for a few weeks with an injury. I know Barry's disappointed. Is it?
I'm going to have to remember I'm on camera. No, it's not that. It's not you. You're brilliant. I've just read Vic's comment. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no worries. I do apologize. When I went off camera earlier, it wasn't because of you, Barry, because I wasn't talking, and I generally thought this would be the good time for me to step away slightly to you anyway. But to answer your question, Connor, so I think as well as Emily Testrup, I think other players United fans should look out for is, of course, our current first choice goalkeeper, Liv Clark. It'll be Wales number 1 versus England's number 1 on Sunday, assuming starts. Abby Harrison, who was one of the only few players that was with the club the last time we were in the WSL. She's recently come back from injury, so she missed the opening month or so of the season. So she hasn't scored yet, but she is clinical in the attack. I'm trying to think of other players who. Oh yeah, Naomi Lazell in defence, alongside Brooke Aspin, who was signed by Chelsea over the summer, but then was loaned back to us this season, so potentially could never even play for Emma Hayes. Brooke Aspin and Naomi Lazell will be very keen in the defence, and our captain Megan Connolly, our new captain, who joined from Brighton over the summer. Yeah, she'll be very interested in that lineup as well. So I could have named every single player if you wanted. Oh yeah, if she is going to play, or I assume she will. I don't think she's injured, but yeah, two other players to look out for: Fionn Morgan, very fast, can run down the wing, and Jamie Lee Napier, who can play in defence and midfield, and yeah, is very clinical. She's been a great signing. We signed her from London City Lionesses over the summer, alongside Amy Rogers. I'm trying to think. So I'm pretty much going to name the whole squad at this point, but yeah, I think I pretty much named all the key players, or our key players, for that United should look out for on Sunday.
I was going to say, I know, obviously, Napier from following Scotland, as you said, obviously, with her as well. Brooke Aspin's a fantastic player. She's certainly got a bright future ahead of her, that's for sure. Unfortunately, with them lot that you mentioned, not your good selves, but yeah, we should see. But yeah, isn't she only like 18 as well? Like, she's really young. Yeah,
so when she turned 18, she was able to sign a professional deal. And then, yeah, I think Chelsea snooped in before. I don't know whether Bristol City did offer a contract, but yeah, Chelsea snooped in. But Brooke, she literally said she wanted to, as a show of respect and loyalty, she wanted to go out on loan or stay with Bristol City for one more season.
Fair play to her. Get the game time. I respect any youngster that does that goes to a side to get game time over going to a club just because of name, really.
Naomi Lazell, yeah, she is a regular, and also she was one of the other players who was in the squad when we were last in the WSL. Although she was like 17 at the time, so she wasn't a first team player, but she's become a first team player in the Championship, and she's now become a regular. And her alongside Brooke Aspin have recently been called up to the England under-23 squad.
There we are. Congrats to them on that one. Bristol look just a likeable side. Just got quite a few youngsters in there and just building something. So I hope you do stay in the WSL for this reason. Just because I think, and it's closer to me geographically. So
I mean, we can see West Ham go down. We can all agree with that, can't we? I mean, even Mia would agree with that. So,
I mean, I was at the West Ham game when we won. That wasn't just our first win of the season. That was like our first away win since like. I think it must have been like Birmingham in 2020, because I think in the WSL in the 2021 season, I don't think we won away at all, if I recall. But yeah,
jeez, it's been that long. That's quite something. What's going on here? Mia, come on, we spoke about this. None of that.
He's just talking about the fact that there's some ironing to do. That's all there is. I've got some to do in a bit and all, so it's all good. I haven't really. I hate ironing. I haven't ironed something since 2021, I don't think. And even then, that was just so I could do something other than look out the bloody window because it was lockdown. Can I just say, like, Vic, no. I'm going to mug you off now because this is mental. She's not a slower. She's a player who's scored a goal. She's got a couple of assists. She has created 16 chances. She is our biggest chance creator. So she scored more than Parris and Garcia put together, but she's also scored more than Miyazawa, Gabby George, May Letitia, Nolsson, Galton, and Irene Guerrero together, who've only got 15 as well. And you want to take out the person who's got it. I know you're saying it's against Chelsea, we'd keep it. But again, don't run out. We're not going to lose our players to burnout. It doesn't happen. I mean, Katie Zellum doesn't tend to start the international games anyway because Serena Wiegman can't seem to get past that Katie Zellum-sized hole in midfield. You know, it's all got to be about, other certain players who we shan't mention. But Yeah, it's a madness to me. Why you would take away the person who creates the most chances for your team, I just don't get. I cannot comprehend this.
No, I agree with you, but I can see a point, and I think Sam making a good point. Chance creation stats are a bit skewed because they do come from a dead ball. However, I contrary that saying if we have other players on dead ball situations, it's never as good as what Zellum can produce anyway. So you've got to be able to deliver that. Although I do agree, like I said, it can be a little bit skewed because corners and free kicks and so on do count as a big chance created and so on. So, and obviously she takes all of those.
She's sticking with it though. Sunday she'll start Hinny, Toon, and Lad. But yeah, when anybody says drop Ella Toon, she's in there like a shot. She's not talking about giving Ella Toon a rest. Ella Toon must play every single minute of every single game. Honestly, Vic, help me out here. I've stood here and batted for you for Ella Toon, and at this rate, I'm going to be starting Mia Zara as well. And in answer to the question, me and my rice is exciting. Although it was rice with curry today, it was just plain boiled rice. But chicken curry.
Screw it, let's go for Narson, Lad, and Miyazawa. Midfield 3 there we go. Please, everybody. let's go for that. I don't know.
I wouldn't know. 1, maybe. 2, no. I mean, that'd be pointless. You might as well have me play if it's 2 ruptured ACLs.
Oh, dear. I don't know. Not at the moment. I think we'll see how the next few weeks go, or the next few games. She's never had 10 this season.
She's on 10 assists.
This season?
Yes.
No. I'm checking stats.
I'm sorry. No. Barry's made a mistake. 4 assists, 10 chances created.
I was going to say.
My bad. I looked at the wrong part of the 10. Getting a bit late now. Been a long week. Yeah. 4 assists compared to the 2.
I was going to say, I was going to be like, what on earth? But yeah. I don't know. I will say this.
We didn't say we were top of the Conti Cup, eh?
Yeah, we've all made mistakes tonight. But I will say just very quickly on Zellum as well. I think she will play better with a lad like alongside her and stop leaving Zellum as an isolated 6 because she can't play there. And that's not a slight on her. That's just not her best position for me. I think she'd be better off as an 8, as a playing more closer to Tooney and playing closer higher up the field. When you leave her on her own as a 6, and when you are as bad defensively as we were on Sunday, so she's on her own, getting no help, as we saw for the second goal. She needs somebody like Lad alongside her, or Narsund, who actually comes back and helps. That, to me, it worked last season. You know, Zellum, Lad, Toon trio was very, very good last season. Albeit, obviously, I know the Chelsea games, but we were in those games. It's not like we got absolutely battered. So, yeah, I think we'll see how next few weeks go. But for me, personally, I know everyone's entitled to their own trio that they want to pick in midfield. I agree. I don't think anyone's put mine, but I would go Lad, Zellum, and Toon, I think, in this one. For this Sunday, and see how it goes from there. There was a comment a bit further up. I just wanted to quickly get to because I find it quite funny. And she's coming here. I think we took a deal not to mention things on this channel to avoid lowering the tone. Men's team, agree with that. Our old number 23, yeah, we don't need to speak about her either. And burgers. I'm literally, funny you say that, I'm about to order mine. So when I come off here, I'll have a burger ready for later on, and it will be eaten the correct way. I might stick a picture on Twitter if you follow me on that.
No, stop it, Connor, because why have you done that? In the last show that we had, Connor, we managed to be in a position where we had officially ended this particular situation. We'd ended Burgergate. For 2 years, we had this horrific thing that you don't eat burgers with your hands.
Oh, here we go.
So many times, and it's we ended it. We'd ended the conversation. It was done. We didn't need to worry about it. It was done, and now you bring it back in again. If this channel is going to be successful, and we're going to try and go for silvers and golds, we're going to have to start changing it. We're going to have to start going to like ham and pineapple on pizza and really push that. Maybe start really pushing it onto the film stuff. If we go back to the burgers, honestly, it's not going to be good. We need some more originality. I know we said we wouldn't do planning on the show here, but we can't be going back to Burgergate. Now, you have been well and truly proven wrong on your ridiculous ways that you behave. That needs to go.
But, you say that, Out of the whole year of Burgergate, or the 18 months, however long it's been, I have never once said I eat a McDonald's burger with a knife and fork. I've never once said that. I've always said you can eat those with your hands because they're a little bit smaller. So essentially, that picture proves nothing because it just backs up what I said, even though I did take that one apart as well.
That proves that you do know the real way to eat a burger. You're just choosing to be awkward.
I mean, I think one of you guys may have to explain to me offline what Burgergate is about. But
it's
yeah,
a very simple question.
Ashton Gators have some good burger options and some good food options. I think there's some vegan and vegetarian options. I think so at Ashton Gate. I mean, I haven't really tried them all, but yeah, I don't know if that's one thing you and your fans want to look forward to. Oh, also another thing, just so that your fans know, coming to Ashton Gate on Sunday, Bristol City, as a football club, no longer does physical match day programs. So I don't know if any of your fans or you yourselves or others do collect match day programs. I do when I go to away games, but yeah, Bristol City's programs are all digital, and I think ours usually come out in the match preview. So when the match preview for this Sunday's game comes out, there'll be a link to view the program.
That's an interesting way of doing it. Not heard too much on that one. Shall I just ask Shahan this question and move on while we're on this topic of going off piece, and then we'll kind of wrap this because we're an hour and 10 minutes in anyway. Essentially, Shahan, Burgergate is I admitted on here well over a year ago that the correct way of eating burgers is with a knife and fork, because that's just what I stand by, that it is. Do you agree with that one, or would you use your hands?
I mean, if it's from like somewhere like fast food, like McDonald's, KFC, and Burger King, then it should be small enough to go in your hands. But if you order from like a restaurant where it's like really high up and it's through like a stick, and it's probably too big to put in your hands in case it might fall out,
there we go.
Then yeah, you could like cut it. Yeah, I mean that's just my personal opinions. Yeah, I thought
you're gonna have to get off that fence, mate. You're gonna get splinters up your bum.
No, if you like Burger Gate, that could be something like LSV or Travel or something.
No, see, that's the right way. That is exactly what I've been saying all this year. These 18 months. Do
you realise how much weight you have got to be able to push down on that tiny little burger, even though it's all big like that? To squish it down into a possible, if it comes out the sides, then you use your knife and fork to pick that stuff up. That's what it's there for. It's not hard. I've decided that Connor is now, having been to the awards show and he's done all of this stuff, I actually think we now need to start that our 2024 thing needs to be, let's get Connor in the jungle. I want to see Connor on either side to get me out of here, because I want to vote for him to do the eating task, and I want to see his little face sit there when he tells him that he wants to eat a kangaroo testicle with a knife and fork, because that is going to be TV gold. I can't wait for it. So that's what I'm aiming for. Connor Roberts. And what would be your starting pose? Would you be, I don't know, maybe something like with a knife and fork in your hand like that? I don't know. It'd be great. But that's what I'm going for. Connor Roberts, I'm a celeb 2024.
I mean, the one thing I will say is people can eat their burgers however they like, as long as it's comfortable for them. I mean, you do you. That's all I'll say.
You're too nice, Shahan.
I was going to say, I see you, Emma, obviously a returning viewer. We always like to see your comments. I didn't pay anything on that one. And oh God, can you imagine?
Yes. Johnny Bravo, bandana. Oh, be great.
I can't be having that. There's no chance. Oh God, award-winning content right here. I'm going to say that for the next year.
You're going to have to start starring that, allegedly.
Oh God.
Yes. Do you guys have any more questions about again what to expect at Ashton Gate, or what to expect from Bristol City, or traveling to Bristol, or?
I've got no idea. Yeah, obviously games at Ashton Gate. And as we said, obviously, yeah, just anything you want to add on that, and obviously we'll come to score predictions and things like that. Obviously, what can people expect? To obviously, you've had a few games there now. It's a pretty nice stadium, to be fair. But,
yeah, exactly.
What can people expect there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, So it's like 27,000 capacity, and I think we are going to break the record this week. But I know that I know we got over 1,000 season ticket holders. So I think most people that do come are probably day trippers or away fans as well. But I do hope of all the 12,000 plus that do come, or at least most of them will actually come back for subsequent home games because, I want to see my team regardless of who they're playing against, because, it's all about the badge in the end. And I assume you guys will agree for United as well. But yeah, Ashton Gate, fantastic stadium. Your away section, I think it's in the corner between the Lansdowne and the South Stand. So I think it's W17. I think that's the block, which is usually allocated to away supporters. But I know there will be other away supporters who will probably would have bought seats elsewhere around the stadium because the away allocation has sold out. I'm usually sat in the middle of the Lansdowne stand with the singing section that or most of the singing section I usually stood together at the Rom Type Performance Centre. So as supporters, we are launching our songbook this Sunday. It's been in the works for a while, but it's finally been published and it's due to make its premiere this Sunday. So fans can get a copy of the songbook to read out, and hopefully there'll be I don't know how many songs United fans have, but I'm guessing there will be some sort of singing competition. And a friend of mine has a drum. I think.
Oh no!
What?
Oh, drum? No, can't be having that. We know what song we're singing in the first 5 minutes.
There absolutely will be. Usually top of the list is Connor's grip is 2 feet tall, 2 feet tall, 2 feet tall. Connor's grip is 2 feet tall. He loves Brill Green. And that will get an airing, I'm sure.
That's not been sung for a while, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that.
I mean, I've just seen the comment there from James Newhill. I don't know if that's an actual song.
It is. That's what I was referring to. That will definitely get sung. Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I said that. Yeah, because City have one as well. I think someone came to LSV. I can't remember which team it was earlier in the season. It might have been Leicester. Was it Leicester? Some team had it anyway, but it's good to see, obviously, with the atmosphere as well. We much prefer it when there's another side that are singing and getting involved in the atmosphere. Villa was very much like that, and we've had it a few times this season where other sides have been joining. It's better for me, as an away fan, when you have that bit of rivalry and banter with the home fan. Everton was brilliant for that, by the way, actually, on that one.
Yeah, I did Everton away last Sunday, and their supporters, or at least the ones that sing and have the drum, they're just incredible.
They've got some interesting chants. They have that proper 80s cheese dance music, original tune. I can't remember off the top of me which one it was that. Oh, I can't remember what it was now. It's going to really bug me. Yeah, I can't remember.
I know after we scored our first goal, they were singing to us. I'm not going to sing the whole song, but they were "Who's the cop hides over there?" And I replied back. Again, I'm not going to sing the song, but it's more like, your city is red, your city is red, just like Bristol, your city is red. Obviously, I don't think I can really sing that against yourselves when I come to LSV because you guys are red as well. So it doesn't quite work.
Well, you could try just like, I don't know, Plymouth. Your city is blue, green and white.
That would... I don't think that's going to catch on.
I don't know if it fit, but
I don't know. A couple of comments, and before we wrap this one up, the score prediction, I'm going to end the player of the match point in just a second as well. I am so sorry, by the way, if I said your name wrong. I said it how I was so confident in saying your name as well. Do come up to us if you see us, obviously, around at LSV. There's a few of us, obviously, going down to Bristol. You'll probably see us at, myself, I'll be at every game now until the end of the season. So you'll see us around. So yeah, please do come up to me and tell me how it's said, because I hate it when I say people's names wrong and so on. So yeah, please correct me on that one.
Very rarely stick up for Connor, but I've got to be honest, I thought it was Emma as well. So Emma.
Yes. Jennifer, appreciate that. You are always in the comments with us, which is great to see, and we love having your comments. So appreciate comments like that. Is absolutely brilliant to see. No, we don't, Mia. We don't need to see that.
Oh, we do.
The day it makes it.
I think we've already established that your quiff needs its own Twitter handle, and I'm still working on that. But I think it could have its own YouTube channel as well. Be great. I kind of think that what we really require from that is, so you know how when people at Christmas they put on like, you know, the log fire and all that sort of things, they've got that. I think we just need that for your quiff. Just like on the screen, it'd be great.
There we are. Oh, what did you say, Barry? What was the second one?
Oh,
I can't
remember. Watch it back and see what the second one was. Did I say Ema? Aimer.
I think it might be that. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. what you said?
Yeah.
I can't remember. You may well do. It comes out. It's not been sung, I don't think, since Leicester, but I did miss a couple of games with illness, so it might be down to that. Who knows? Yes, you're right.
Email.
There we are. No. Can you imagine? No. Me and Mia are actually on the beat. Yeah, I'm sure we were on the beat. Well, the first game of the season at Villa Park, and they put me and Mia on the big screen, just broadcasting it to everyone in the stadium. That wasn't appreciated. I didn't like that too much. Right, let's end this player of the match poll then, just so we can wrap that one up. So Phallon did win it with 59%. Parris was on there with 26%. And not gonna lie, I looked at the sports club and looked at Twitter, so I put Gemma Evans and Riviere on there, and they got 8 and 4% respectively as well on that one. So Phallon wins a first player of the match of the season on that one. Right, should we do score predictions before we wrap this one up then? This bloody pitch! I need to get this banned from StreamYard.
I just had to put it on there for Mia for her petition.
I mean, speaking of pictures, Connor, have you found that pic?
I can't upload it to StreamYard for some reason.
No worries.
I'll show you what it says on my screen afterwards. It's like grayed out for the JPEG, which I don't understand because the thumbnail's literally JPEG as well. So I don't understand what's going on there. It certainly was a jump scare, seeing yourself on the big screen. Yes, make sure you are obviously liking the video and subscribing if you're new around here. I promise I don't promise it's always this chaotic. But we do shows, and that's what we love to see. Shahan, throw it to yourself then. Score prediction for Sunday. How are you nailing your colours to the mast? I don't know what that saying is. I've butchered that up. But yeah, what are you going for Sunday?
I mean, so the last time we had like a really massive home game to this schedule of this scale again was against Arsenal. And I thought myself and other fans, I thought we were going to like lose heavily, but we played really well, and we only lost 2-1 in the end. So I'm going to go for like a similar scoreline. I don't expect Bristol City to win, but I do expect us to at least get a goal. So yeah, I'm going to say. Again, I hate to go against my own team, but yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 to United.
Barry, what are you going for? Some big scores going in the chat here.
5-0 to Bristol. No, to Man United. 5-0 to us. I think they've struggled, bless them, in terms of getting their results. City managed to do them 5-0. The Arsenal and Spurs games were quite close. But obviously they were in the League Cup. They have done well in the league, to be fair. You know, they've not been battered and humbled many times. But my hope is that having had the poor game against City and then not shining as they could have done against Liverpool, my hope is that Marc's going to watch this show. He's going to right the wrongs of the last couple of weeks, and we're going to get 5 goals. And obviously, it's going to be a Katie Zellum hat-trick and 2 goals from Miyazawa, who's replacing Toon because Vic Wally's been a Wally.
She's going to hate you for that. I'm definitely getting a WhatsApp message when we come off here.
She knows I love her, really.
Oh, God. 3-2 United, 4-0. It's a big score. It really depends to me what United shows up. We've seen this United side obviously capable of scoring a few goals and obviously racking up some big, some high scoring. But equally, I've seen this United season not look like we're going to score if we play for 120 minutes, let alone just 90. So I really don't know. I'm going to go 3-1 because I think it's going to be Mary that starts. And I don't trust the backline to keep a clean sheet just yet. And 3 goals. I don't know. There we are. Yeah, exactly. We've been inconsistent, and hopefully we can get a win before the international break and obviously kick on after that. Just get some 5 wins, I think. Well, 4 now. 4 games till the end of the season. Let's get 4 wins at the end of the season, end of the year, and get 4 wins on that one.
I was going to say, looking at other fixtures this Sunday, Aston Villa have got Everton, so whichever result happens there could potentially have a knock-on effect with Bristol City. And West Ham, they've got Arsenal, and that could affect us as well. I don't know with where United are on the table. Is there any other results that you might want to go your way?
We need City to drop a point or two. Could probably do with Arsenal and Chelsea losing, but that's not going to happen.
I mean,
so I might be looking at them.
Man City have Spurs, but that's a 6:45 kickoff, and Chelsea have got Leicester.
Yeah, Chelsea are winning that, so I'm not even going to look at them. I'm not even looking at Chelsea full stop at the minute because they're just not losing any game or dropping any points anywhere, so I'm not even looking at them. But yeah, City's
the one. Really bright now, so you never know. I know we said that last year, but fingers crossed the climate can make a difference.
They've not had Wrighton for the last few weeks, and they're still scoring so many goals. So I don't think it makes. They've not even their best signing in the summer as well. Macario, they've not had her all season, and they're still winning.
After yourselves, our next home game is against. Well, our next home game in the WSL is against Chelsea, and that's our last game before the winter break. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Fingers crossed you can do us a bit of a favour there then. I don't have loads of hope, but we'll see. Shahan, is there anything you want to shout out while you're on here? Obviously, have you got your own podcast and things up and running now? What's going on there? If people want to follow me?
So if people want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Shahan. I'm also on Instagram.
I named him twice.
Yep, of course, like Duran. I'm also on Instagram at Shahan because someone else took the Instagram name. I also run a Bristol City fan page called at the other BCWFC, Bristol City Women Fan Content, and people can find out on Twitter and Instagram at the other BCWFC, all one word.
There we are. Make sure you do all that. We'll put it in the description so people can find it. It's been great having you on again. Obviously, appreciate you giving it your Friday evening to come chat. Obviously, Sunday's game and all things in between on that front.
I was going to say, I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. And I know there's quite a lot of other United fans who I've met on the show or online. And I don't know how many of them are going to be in Ashton Gate on Sunday, but I'll say hi. And yeah, people recognize me from the show as well. If feel free to say hi as well. I'll probably have time to go round to the away section or on the concourse and probably say hello to you guys if you're going to be there.
Indeed, we'll make sure we'll get that out because I didn't see you at download. Obviously, this year with the lack of signal when you got into download festival, it was hard to try and find people there. But yeah, it's been great having you on once again. And as Shahan just said, if you do, and I said this a bit earlier, if you do see us at a game, obviously do come up and say hello. We saw a lot of you at Old Trafford on Sunday. I felt like I said hello to so many people on Sunday. So if you do see us, come up and say hi. We'll have a debrief of the game if you see us afterwards or before it as well. We'll have a chat and things like that. Our next show obviously will be on Monday discussing this game, obviously with Bristol City. On Monday. Then it's obviously international break. We've got a couple of specials lined up. We've got a really big show coming out, and it's probably going to be out in about 3 weeks. And that's a long time, I know, but it's going to be good. I promise you that. Myself and Miriam, who people might know, obviously She Scores Bangers account, we are working on something which will be out halfway through December, roughly. Once we've got that one sorted, it's going to take time because it's a lot of work and it's going to be good. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, next Monday there'll be some kind of show. Next Wednesday or Thursday, some kind of special that we'll throw out there. Albeit it's international break, we don't stop with the shows. As I tweeted the other day, over 600 shows on this channel since its inception just over 2 years ago. Works out to about 1.5 a show every 1.5 days. Which, when I look at it like that, it's a lot of shows.
No, I think the only thing that would be more surprising than the fact that we've been on a show every 1.5 days would be if this ever happened. Because genuinely, there is just something about that statement. The idea that the Trinity, Charlton, Law, Best, I stood there looking at that. Honestly. Warms me cockles.
I can't believe it. just on that very quickly. No, we might. So what I need to speak to Barry about afterwards. So obviously last year, people didn't know. Let us know in the comments, actually, just very quickly on this. Last year, we did do a Christmassy show, a Christmas special, where we did obviously highlights of the year. We did a countdown to Christmas #1 as well. So we may do that as well. But are we going to put the pressure on Barry to come up with some fun little games again, like he did last year, for our Christmas
pressure.
special? No pressure.
We
Oh,
can
there we
do
go.
that.
He's agreed to it. So we will be doing that potentially as well. And maybe there'll be some karaoke as well. Mia did come up with a good idea on that front. So we might have something. But there will be some, obviously, the closer we get to Christmas, obviously, in the off season. If you watched us last year, you know what's coming. We do kind of yearly wraps and just have a bit of a laugh, to be honest. It's as we do anyway. But yeah, even more no structure to those shows. Yeah, so make sure you like the video, subscribe it. If you listen to this on Spotify, I should have said this right at the start. Come and watch us obviously on YouTube. You get more of the references and things like that. I always forget, obviously, people do listen to us on Spotify as well. Twitter at allforunitedwfc. We're now on TikTok as well. We're doing pretty well on that at the minute. We're doing all right. We've started to ramp up our TikTok game. So at allforunitedwfc on that as well. It's literally at allforunitedwfc, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, anything. That is our at. Come and find us on there. But for now, I'm going to shut up because I'm shattered. We've been going for 90 minutes. Make sure you like the video, subscribing, all of that stuff. Thank you to Barry and Shahan for giving up their Friday evening to talk about it. And we shall see you guys on Monday.